Get in here! What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Space Orphan's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at SH Figuarts Starlord. I think it's the deluxe edition. It comes with the extra little doodads and whatnot, which definitely, trust me when I tell you, we are going to talk about. But he is a pretty decent figure, and he comes with a ton of accessories. Let's get right into it. And as usual, we'll start with the hands. So he comes with 2 fist hands that were in the opening footage. He comes with 2 relaxed hands left and right and 2 trigger finger hands left and right. Of course, he has 2 trigger finger hands because he has 2 guns. They're both done identical. And we have silver paint and gold paint and some really nice sculpting, and the paint is extra sharp, unlike the Executioner Trooper we just looked at recently. Now, he holds them just fine, and they're actually, the sculpt of the gun is cut so that each one fits in perfectly in the palm of his hand, with like the kind of sculpt of the grip kind of coming underneath this part of your thumb, and that works really well. My only criticism is there's no hole in the trigger guard, so the finger is kind of always sitting outside of the gun. Not the biggest deal in the world, but something worth looking at. He also comes with an extra head with the masked version. It's really well done. The hair is pretty much done the same, which we'll talk about here soon. The head itself, we have the silver paint, the gold paint, and the red. It's kind of a metallic-esque. It's not full-on metallic, but maybe it's just a gloss. Anyway, it looks really good in a great sculpt. And he comes with 3 of these things. I don't know if this is like a special edition or like the American edition that he comes with, because I did get this through an American retailer. I don't know. It's translucent plastic. They stand. They're like little explosions. I don't know. Are they getting carried away with this kind of stuff? You know, like, I don't necessarily want to pay for this, and I don't think they're great. I mean, they're fine. You put them off at different angles so you can hide like the inside of it, so to speak. It's just, I don't know, dude. Like, what if I were to do something like this?
I'd like to invite everyone to go ahead and purchase the new Skullface box art figure. And if you act now and you live in the American armament, we'll throw in these environmental accents.
Shout out to Joe. He had that little brick Skullface thing made for me as a gift. It was very kind and has a nice place in my collection. But here it is with the niblets. You know, I don't know. What do you think? It's fine, I guess. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to be honest. So let's talk about them. The head sculpt is good, but I don't feel like it's all that accurate. Yeah, I feel like something looks a little bit off about it. It's sculpted beautifully. It just doesn't necessarily look like Chris Pratt. And it's also painted beautifully. Now, I've only seen the second Guardians once, and I wasn't really crazy about it. I've seen the first one a handful of times, but maybe he does look a little different in the second one. I'd have to go back and check. At any rate, it is sculpted beautifully. The digital paint is done extremely well, including the 5 o'clock shadow and all that kind of stuff. It all looks fantastic. The hair has a brown shading, like it's a brown hair, and then it has a darker brown kind of shade applied to like the under, so like the light would be coming down, casting a shadow on the underside of the hair. Looks also good. Double ball peg from the head to the neck, single from the neck to the chest, which pretty much gives you anything you could possibly want without issue. It's really, really, really well done per usual. Then we have this softer coat on the outside. All the red is shaded with this darker burgundy. Looks great. And then we have the detailings done here on the coat collar. We have the zipper done. We have all this kind of black details and stuff. Everything's sculpted. Everything's painted to the nines with shading, so nothing to complain about there. For the shoulders, we have this casing. It looks fantastic. Like, it doesn't even look like the jacket breaks up really at any point. I mean, obviously where the arm is, but from the jacket to the casing, like the sleeve of the joint, it's really, 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 really well crafted. So we have a disc hinge. Actually, no, we have a ball hinge from the arm into the chest with a ball peg. Using all of that, you can get the arm a fair amount across the chest. Not crazy, but decent. And back, you can get it down, you can get it up, you can get it way past 90 degrees, and you can get it swiveled all the way around. Not a single issue. The shoulder swivels around it. That's going to be your bicep swivel. The elbow does not swivel. It's on a single hinge, and it gets you 90 degrees. And then the jacket has continued to be sculpted, and the wrinkles are in there as well. It's really well done. And then we have a ball hinge here for the wrist. It's going to swivel at both ends, so you can use the hinge to get you in out. You can turn it and get the, well, it's really tight, but trust me, you can turn it and get the up down. Let's see if this one will move any easier. Nah, I can't get it. Tight joint, but trust me, it does work. Double ball peg from the chest into the abdomen. The paint on the inside of the shirt design is beautifully done. Pop right out, so let's try. Yeah, that's not the best, is it? All right, so you get about down to there, up to there, to the side, and the swivel, and then using the other one, you get more of a swivel. You get nothing really forward, but a bit more back. Now for the pants, it's a soft plastic floating piece for the pelvis section. You have the silver belt and all the gold detailings on the pants. The pants are shaded. There's an extra brown added to the pants, and then all the texture of the pants and the wrinkles and such are all sculpted. It's nicely done. I do have one issue here as well, though we'll talk about it when we get there. We have T-jointed ball joints for hips. I don't think they drop down. They do not. You get up to there, so no issues. You get out to the side, fair amount, so no real issues there. You do get a swivel around the casing for the ball socket, and this one is like stuck, so the whole socket moves. This one for the thigh swivel moves nicely around the socket. I'm sure that's an individual, results will vary, but something to take a look at on yours. And then we have a single knee that gets you 90 degrees. Of course, this one doesn't swivel around the socket because it's so tight. Now, I can probably take some hot water and stuff and try to loosen it up, but just for the sake of discussion, his foot is kind of always going to be at an angle. This one swivels a lot better around it so you can get the foot straight back. So no real issues, just something worth mentioning. And then we have the boots. We have a brown with shading on the brown, and then we have a black, and everything is sculpted to the nines. It's all a digital sculpt, but it still looks great. I mean, I'm not one of those people where it has to be hand done. It doesn't bother me. Double ball peg from the shin into the foot, which gives you a great ankle tilt up and down. However, the rocker is still a bit limited. That's something that we've been seeing more and more and more and more and more. Unless they use like a proper rocker joint, it's just always going to be a bit limited, it seems, which is unfortunate. And then we have a toe hinge. So no real issues. I'll show you the back of the figure. No issues there. A pretty solid effort, just a few kind of tolerance quirks, and we still can't get like a great handle on those ankles. Size comparison wise, there he is with old Rocket, and that looks pretty awesome. Final thoughts wise, my only real negatives are some of the tolerances, like that tight swivel there between the socket for the ball peg and the right hip and the thigh itself. Now that could very well be an individual, results will vary, so I can't hold that entirely against them. And then also how the wrist joint swivels in the forearm seems to be a little on the tight side as well. The only other real complaint I have is that I'm paying for these purple things that I really just, if that's your thing, dude, I get it. It's cool. It's done well. It looks great. It's like not enough. Like it's almost too much in some ways because it's loud and intense and it's large, but in the same way it's like not enough to really give like a decent display. I think that the Doctor Strange one worked a bit better in that regard. But the materials feel great. The engineering is pretty good. I wish it was a double jointed elbow. That's kind of the one thing I really wish was there, and it would have been nice to have a bit more of an ankle rocker. The paint is fantastic. We got a lot of shading on this one, like throughout. Most of the reds, the browns, all that stuff is shaded. It looks really good. The face paint, the digital, like the dot matrix stuff, it's all done well. The sculpting is done well. The accessories are cool, and there's lots of them. If I could have saved a couple bucks by not having 3 of them in particular, I would have taken them up on that. But overall, I think it's definitely worth the investment. Definitely a recommend from me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.